Thank you for joining me today. I'm Sandra at SandraR, and my project for you today are these lovely presentation gift boxes, and inside them I've got something very, very special that I have made. I like to make my own preserves and jams. I grow a lot of fruit in my garden. So recently I had a glut of fruit in my freezer, and I thought I'd use it up before the summer starts and I get another glut of fruit. So I made this very easy recipe in the microwave with lots of different fruits, raspberries, strawberries and blackberries. Mix them all together and put them in the microwave, and then I sieved them because I'm not I don't like seeds in my jams. So I sieved it, but you don't have to, and then you can add the sugar and you put it back in the microwave for 12 minutes, and then you have a perfect setting jam. If you would like the recipe, and if there's quite a few people who ask me for the recipe, I will do a blog on it, but otherwise that's my jam. And I've put my own label on here. I used the 2.5-inch circle punch, the 2 3/8 scallop punch and the note tag punch to get this lovely little quirky look to the top of my homemade jam, and I'm very pleased with that. I use this Creatively Yours stamp set. This stamp set was brought out by Stampin because it's perfect for things you make yourself. If you make soaps or toiletries in any way, or jewellery, or indeed chutneys, jams, or even if you sew. If you sew, you can actually stamp these onto material of things that you've made yourself, so personalising them. So this is a brilliant stamp set to get if you do make things as a hobby and like to give them as gifts. So these are my 6-sided presentation boxes. I've used the Wildflower Fields Designer Series paper, which I got free during celebration, which ends on the 31st of March. Until then, if you spend £45 on my Stampin' Up website, you get to choose a free product, which Stampin' Up will ask you what your free product choice is. If you look through the little celebration brochure which is on my website, that shows you all the lovely products you can choose for free. For every £45 you spend, you choose a free product. So if you spend £90, you get to choose 2 products. If you spend £135, 3 free products, and so on, and you can have as many free products as you want. So that's my presentation jar. Let's get started on that today, and I'll show you how I made it. So I get my scoring board. So I've prepped up on my scoring board a piece of Lost Lagoon cardstock. Very pretty colour, I like this colour, and it measures 10.5 inches by 7.5, which is 26.7 by 19.1 centimetres, and we are going to score it on the long side at 1 5/8, 3 1/4, 4 7/8, 6 1/2, 8 1/8, and 9 3/4. And in centimetres, that is 4.1, 8.3, 12.4, 16.5, 20.7 and 24.8. No need to write it down, all the measurements will be on my blog anyway. Then we turn it 90 degrees and we score it on the short side at 1.5 inches, 5.5 inches and 6.5 inches. And then we're going to turn it back this way, because now I've got all my lines scored. What we need to do now is we need to score in between the middle of each of the 6 sections, because that is how I got this little edge here to bend in the middle. When you bring it together, you want it to bend in the middle a bit. So we're going to put this back into our score board, and I need to score it at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm scoring it at 7/8 of an inch on there, down to just that first score line, and then 2.5 inches here, and 4 1/8 here, and 5 3/4 here, and 7 3/8 the next one, and 9 inches here. That's just so that we can do a bit of bending at the top there. So that's the scoring done, and I'll put my board away. Now we're going to use the envelope punch board to get our quirky little edge across the top. That helps to bring it in together. So we need to burnish our lines. Don't burnish those little part score lines that we've done. Burnish along there. And then we're going to fold our card that way, and we're going to score at the, put your card in at the 1 inch score line on your board, and then I'm going to stand up to do this because you need to stand up to get some welly going on it, and you go along and fold it up along the top of those lines. Next fold line in at the 1 inch mark and press down. And then you go back to the first line here and just put that in at 1 inch that way round and score that out there. So there we have 6, 6 and a little bit there. So we can get rid of the envelope punch board now. We don't need that anymore. So now we're going to put our box together, but first I'm going to put my designer series paper on. That makes it easier. And I've labelled these up because I'm a bit of a perfectionist at times. I've labelled these up so that they run how I cut them, because that's just me. That's how I roll. So I'm going to use some snail to put them together. You could use liquid glue, whatever is your choice. Stick them all the way along. I just think that this Wildflower Fields paper, it's just so pretty. I've actually had 2 lots of this with my orders because I just love it so much. I've made so many projects with this paper. It's almost, you know, you get some designer papers and you think, oh, that's just too good to cut. I need to keep that in my stash forever. But you know that you're not doing yourself any good by doing that. But crafters think, oh, that's too good to cut. When it isn't too good to cut, it's just that you love something so much you don't want to cut it. So that's our designer paper on there. It's good to go. And now we do our cutting. So we never need this little square here. We cut that out. And then you just cut up to that first score line all the way along. Like that. And then that goes round like that, and then these fold in like so. So what we need to do is to just put some sticky strip along these edges. Am I using sticky strip? Yes, I'll use sticky strip. So put some sticky strip just along each one of those edges. Probably just need to do it on 5, otherwise I'll probably be sticking my jar to the box, I won't get it out. So that's those done. Right then. So I'm going to use fast fuse to do the top of to do this side piece. I'm putting plenty on because I don't want it to come undone. And then you just fold that over like that, and that sticks down like that, makes that beautiful box like that. So I didn't fold my edges, did I? I didn't burnish them. Oh, silly me. Not to worry, we'll just have to manipulate it as we go along. So, where's my jar? I put my jar in because that helps me to have something to press against when I undo all this sticky strip. So we now go along and take all our sticky strip off of each one. So this is our first one, so we press against that, the box, and then we just go round sticking getting stuck up with these bits that I've pulled off, and then you just twist that round and round on itself like that, and then I just press my jam pot down on the bottom to make sure that that's stuck. And to hide up that mess that's at the bottom there, I've got a piece of the same Lost Lagoon cardstock, and I've got my 2.5 inch circle punch. We're just going to cut one of those out, and a bit of fast fuse on that to stick that on the bottom of our jar, and that just gives it a much neater finish on the bottom there, and a bit more strength, I feel. So then we're pushing that in like that. And can you see how that does fold up like a little star shape very nicely? And we're going to punch our sentiment out on a piece of this for white cardstock. I've got, what colour am I using? So I'm going to put Made with My Own Two Hands on here. And I'm going to use this is Tangerine Tango we're using. So down on there. Good. And then I've got the note tag punch, and so we punch that out with the note tag punch. And then I'm going to punch out a piece of this glimmer paper, because you've got to have a bit of bling on your project sometimes. And then a piece of Tangerine Tango as well. Do I want that? Yes, I do. Piece of Tangerine Tango, 3 pieces, because I prepped it up on 3 before, so I've just done the same again. So we're layering those up. And I've just offset them so that you can actually see each piece. We need some dimensionals for this glimmer paper because the glue has a hard job sticking to it. So these dimensionals are perfect. Stick that down on there. And then I've got a quarter of a hole punch to just punch a hole in that to put my ribbon through. There we are. And then I've got some, this is Whisper White organza ribbon. It's really very beautiful, very shiny, perfect for your projects. So I'm going to wrap that round there and cut some off with my scissors. And just try and work out how much I need. I think about there is good. So wrap that round. And I have tied a knot so that I can then thread my label through, otherwise I'd be fighting with it. Put my label through, it says it's homemade. So I think that looks beautiful, and I'm sure anyone would love to receive this as a gift. So we've tied our ribbon. I think that's really a very special gift, and I hope you like the project. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you want the recipe, and I'll put it on my blog. So if you want to receive a catalogue or a newsletter, send me an email. It will be in the little drop down arrow if you're watching me on YouTube. Thank you for watching today, and until the next time, bye.